Right now, Tesla is working on something so massive and so huge that it's probably going to change the entire world economy. Would you invest your money right now? And I'm talking about something so big and so massive that it's going to be like getting into the dot-com stocks before anyone even knew about them. This could be humongous. So what's coming for Tesla right now? It's not even about electric cars anymore. It's about autonomy, it's about robots, and it's about massive disruption of the entire world economy. But the question is this: are we still early on this trillion-dollar market opportunity, or are we just buying into Elon's dream again, but at 2021 prices? So let's talk about Tesla, the real opportunity, the real risk, and if this stock could potentially print millionaires, or if it's going to leave you holding the bag on the way down. Let's break it down. Elon is building something that no one else is even daring to attempt: fully autonomous robotaxis, humanoid robots in the workforce, and an end-to-end vertically integrated AI ecosystem. So this is essentially like Apple meets Uber meets Nvidia meets Boston Dynamics. These companies all are pretty much baked into one company, which is Tesla. If Tesla actually executes with what they're trying to do here with mass robotaxi networks and with the humanoid robots, the Optimus robot going mainstream, mark my words, this will be the most valuable company by far in the entire stock market. And everyone wants to know, do we invest right now or do we not invest, Brandon? Like, what do we do? We're all here trying to make money. So I'm going to break it down, no BS, no fluff, of exactly what's going on with Tesla, if you should invest right now, because the stock does have some problems, but also those problems might be overshadowed just by how big this opportunity is for Tesla. So let's break it down. So let's talk about this robotaxi idea. So Tesla claims in a few weeks they're going to be launching a robotaxi network in Austin, Texas. They're basically going to repurpose the Model 3 and the Model Y platform, or maybe even a new and cheaper compact model with no steering wheel, no pedals, but just software that just drives itself around town autonomously. And I could vouch for this because I personally have a Tesla, and whenever I go drive around town, my car does pretty good driving me wherever I want to go. I would say that roughly 95% of the trips that I make, I would feel comfortable sitting in the right seat of my car, falling asleep doing nothing, and trusting that my car is going to get me from A to B. It is really that good right now. Is it perfect? No. But is a human perfect driving across town? No. Humans text and drive. Humans drive drunk. Humans just don't look at stop signs. They don't look at red lights. They crash. They make mistakes. Every human makes mistakes when they drive. But with these robotaxis, as time goes by, they're going to keep getting better and better and better, where it's like, oh my God, a human should never drive a car. We need this robotaxi to drive us because it's just so much safer. I mean, I'm also a private pilot just for fun. We fly planes 95% of the time on autopilot because it's much, much safer, it's much more accurate, and it's much easier to just essentially sit there and just monitor what's going on. So imagine a world where people don't even want to own cars anymore because it's not as safe and it's way more expensive. You have to pay for tires, you have to do brakes, you have to pay for your insurance, you have to pay for your gas, you have to figure out where to park this car. Sometimes when you park places, that's a big deal in big cities. Imagine a world where you're just going to go on an app, the Tesla Robotaxi app. You're going to call your robotaxi. It's going to take you from A to B. And then whenever you're done, you just call the robotaxi and it takes you back home. Maybe it's $2 there and $2 back. And maybe you would have spent that much money in gas anyways. So why on earth would you want to drive yourself when you could just have the car drive you? And think about the time that you're saving. Yes, you're going to be in the car for the same amount of time, but think about what you could do with that time. Maybe it's a 20-minute drive, and maybe you have to read 20 minutes worth of work emails or 20 minutes worth of whatever you want to do. You want to go doom scroll on social media. You are now getting that time back in your day by going into robotaxi. And time is money. Time is very, very valuable to us. So people are going to realize that, and they're going to start going in robotaxis even more. So Uber right now is a $170 billion company. Just think about that. $170 billion company just for Uber itself. And keep in mind, that is just Uber. There's so many other use cases for these robotaxis than just transporting bodies back and forth. We're going to transport food. We're going to transport goods. We're going to do so much more with these robotaxis that are going to be way more efficient, way cheaper, and way safer. If you're a business and you have the opportunity to have a human driver or a robotaxi driver, if one is safer and cheaper, you're probably going to go with that one. So we're potentially going to transition into a world where these cars are not going to be a depreciating liability because cars are not an asset, cars are a liability. So we might be going into a world where these cars are now going to become an asset because these cars can produce money for you. Imagine a world where your car, I mean, think about it. My car's sitting in a garage right now. If you're at work, your car's sitting in a parking deck right now or in a parking lot. Your car could be driving right now in a robotaxi network, making money for you while you're at work or while you're sleeping or while you're recording a YouTube video. You know, your car could become part of your business. And I think that everybody's going to want to do this. So yeah, we might flood the market with robotaxis, but what is that going to do for Tesla? They're the ones selling the shovel in a gold rush. And I get it, all that's very, very bullish for Tesla and, of course, Tesla stock, but there is one massive problem. How many Tesla robotaxis are actually driving autonomously on the road right now? None. How many robotaxi regulations are out there right now to make this easily to go from state to state? None. When you go into one state or one city, there's a different regulation than the next city over, the next state over. So that's going to be a massive negative factor for this to truly scale very, very fast. Elon said at the end of 2026 that there's probably going to be millions and millions of robotaxis on the road. I doubt it because there's just too much regulation and it's not proven yet. And if we have one negative article that comes out where someone just simply steps out of a robotaxi and they scrape their shin on the way out, they're going to say robotaxi causes damage to passenger, they're in the hospital and they're dying. Like, they're going to say something crazy like that. And I will say this, the software that powers these Tesla robotaxis right now, which is the FSD software, the full self-driving software, it's improving a lot. And I remember when I got my Tesla a few years ago, honestly, it tried to kill me every single day. Right now it doesn't, but there is still a lot of issues with it. There's still some weird disengagements, some weird edge case scenarios, and of course some lawsuits coming out where people are actively on FSD autopilot, they get in car crashes and they die. So until Elon shows a working fleet that could actually scale, this is all just one big thing. It's a big potential. And the keyword here, potential. Wall Street is pricing in Tesla like it's already winning, like it's already dominating and scaling this robotaxi network. But what if it doesn't? So if Tesla is able to scale robotaxi, that's going to be massive. But if you think that that's going to be big, wait till we talk about the next part of Tesla that they're working on right now, that if they're truly able to scale it, bring it to mass market, this is going to be the largest company hands down by far. This segment of Tesla is going to totally crush everything. So we're talking about Tesla's humanoid robot, and it kind of sounds like sci-fi, kind of like the iRobot stuff, but that is exactly what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to scale these robots and train them to do everything from retail work, home tasks, factory work, any type of job that a human does. They're working on training these robots to basically do everything for us. Which, yes, it does sound kind of scary, but it is coming whether we like it or not. And they're not just planning to make one of these robots, they're here to make millions and millions and even billions of these robots. Because think about it, Elon talks about it all the time, like, who's not going to want this robot? Who's not going to want to have their robot cooking them dinner, doing their laundry, sweeping the floor, doing whatever? Who's not going to want to have this robot in their factory moving boxes, doing customer service, doing anything? If this humanoid robot has the same capabilities as a human and they're able to be trained on what a human can do, imagine how big this total addressable market actually is. This is the whale in the room for Tesla. So yes, car sales matters right now, but down the road, car sales aren't really going to matter. It's going to be the robotaxi network and what the Optimus humanoid robot could actually scale to. So when people talk crap on Tesla right now for having poor delivery numbers, I get it, the numbers aren't really that good, and the valuation, which we'll get into in just a second, is very expensive for Tesla right now. But when you look at all that stuff, you're looking backwards. You're not looking forward at what the company is trying to do. And yes, full disclosure, the robotaxi network doesn't have to scale. The Optimus humanoid robot does not have to scale. So all this is risky. But if it does truly scale, this is going to be massive for the stock. And the stock is going to look very cheap right now if it does scale. But if it doesn't scale, the stock is going to look very, very expensive. So think about this real quick. Amazon has over 1 million warehouse workers, literally 1 million people that work in their warehouses. But what happens if robots cut that labor cost by over 90%? Labor is a $50 trillion global market, and guess who's going to capitalize on that? It's going to be Tesla. All these companies are going to sit down and say, look, do we want to cut the labor that's able to be cut and be replaced by a robot and save 90%? They're going to be like, no PTO, no health benefits, no 401k match, no calling out sick, no one complaining. Who wouldn't want to do that? This is massive, and Tesla realizes this. That's why Tesla is focusing very, very hard on making the best robot, but also being able to make millions of these robots because the demand is going to be so high. Now, here's the part where things get tricky. Tesla's market cap is around $1 trillion depending on a day. The stock bounces around up and down like crazy, but you got to understand this. This is more than Toyota, Ford, GM, and Volkswagen all combined. And yet Tesla sold about 1.8 million cars last year, but Toyota alone sold over 10 million. So what is driving that premium? Why are we paying so much more for Tesla if they're delivering way less cars than all these companies combined? It's all just betting on a future of what could potentially come. There's hope, there's emotions, there's fear, there's greed. All these investors are very emotional right now, and a lot of them have FOMO and they don't want to miss out on what's potentially coming. But what not many people are thinking about right now is what if once they start to launch this robotaxi network, it actually goes bad? What if these cars start getting in crashes, then they have to go back to the drawing board and say, well, this probably isn't going to work. We're going to have to try some other way. And now maybe they're a few years behind. Also, with the humanoid robot, what if these humanoid robots aren't going to be as easy to train as what we think? Elon has said many times that the humanoid robots, the Optimus robot, it's going to be 10 to 100 times more complicated to train than a car. So if it's taking this long to train a car how to drive around town, imagine how long it's going to take to train a humanoid robot to be able to do the things that us as humans do. It's going to take some time. And I personally think that there's way too much hype and way too much optimism priced into the stock right now. So that's why I have some shares of Tesla. I have over 700 shares of Tesla. I'm very bullish on the long run. But in the short term, I do think the stock is quite a bit expensive. So right now I am selling a lot of cover calls on Tesla, and I'm absolutely printing money on it. So right now the lofty valuation on Tesla is a real risk, and Elon himself is a part of that risk too. And I'm going to be honest with you. Let's just talk about Elon himself. He's a genius, he's a visionary, but he's also very unpredictable. He's fighting legal battles, he's spreading himself thin across 5 different companies, and let's be honest, he's not exactly risk averse. So what happens to Tesla stock if something happens to Elon? Or if he happens to shift his focus to XAI or SpaceX? We saw what happened when he went to Doge. Tesla stock went way down. Who's to say that Elon's not going to focus on sending people to Mars because he's going to say this is way more important than launching a robotaxi or a humanoid robot network? He's going to say we need to be multiplanetary. We need to be on different planets because if we don't do this, all this humanoid robot stuff doesn't even matter because we're all going to die. It's very possible that Elon's going to say that. So yes, investors love Elon. He's great. He's very smart. But that is very dangerous to be dependent on him because if he were to step away from a company or if some tragic accident happens to Elon, what does that mean for Tesla stock? But here's the thing. Every now and then a company comes along that really changes the world. Apple with the iPhone, Amazon with e-commerce, Nvidia with the AI chip. Tesla might be the next big company. If robotaxi work, Tesla becomes a massive transportation monopoly. If Optimus works, they redefine labor as we know it. And if they pull both of those off, Tesla can easily be a $5 trillion company by 2030, in my opinion. And right now it's a $1 trillion company, so that's potentially a 5x. But here's what no one wants to say out loud. What if they don't? What if this is like another 1999 again, where we're buying dreams at bubble prices? This stock is either going to be a generational opportunity or it's going to teach us a very, very expensive lesson. So at the end of the day, I'm bullish Tesla in the long run, but in the short term, it's going to be very volatile. But if Tesla happens to drop or their earnings happen to go way up, I'm going to stop selling cover calls on Tesla because I don't want to cap my upside on the stock. If the stock happens to run way up, when you sell cover calls, you have to sell your shares at a certain price, and I don't want to have to sell my shares at a certain price. I want to let the shares run up way higher. So I'm watching this very close, and I think that you guys should too, because this could potentially be a massive opportunity to turn thousands into millions of dollars. I put a good chunk of money in Tesla when I bought the shares years ago. I think I'm up like 200% on the shares right now. So I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to hold these shares for the long term, and then I'm going to do options when it makes sense. So if you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn exactly how I do stocks and options and how I scale to millions of dollars in a low risk way and how I generate thousands of dollars every single month with stock options, click the link below, do my course, come into my Discord. It's going to totally change your life. So I'll see you guys there.